Okay, so the topic is the tariff. Okay, so we have heard of many of times the tax. So this is kind of a tax only. But now this tariff is of different nature tax. Like whatever commodities we import or whatever commodities we export. And if tax is imposed on such quantities or such volume of goods, then that is the tariff. Okay, now it has different natures, or like different types, or we can say, and so we'll just to touch upon two for now. Like one is revenue and one is protective. And in protective, we have two types of tariffs. So revenue and the protective. Now, by the name suggest what could be the revenue tariff. So the revenue tariff, by its name itself, it is telling that it is somehow for earning purpose, for attaining some sort of revenue. Okay, so this revenue tariff, when government impose this tariff on the imports, then government is what inclining on? Government is inclining on to generate the revenue. Okay, so if like there are drugs, some sort of drugs we are importing from Russia, and if government wants to earn the revenue on that particular good, then because that is a necessity. And in such revenue tariff goods only now, we have necessity kind of goods, we have inelastic natured goods, for which we will demand and demand and demand, for which people will not stop demanding. Like other than drugs, if we can use of one example, like habitual goods, which is alcohol. So in COVID period also, if you have noticed that on alcohol, the rates were doubled, almost doubled, right? If not double, then more than 50% tax was uh, imposed on such goods. Now, why that happened? Not all alcohol is produced in the domestically here in India. If we take the case of India, you know, if that is not domestically produced, then that country is intentionally imposing the tariff in order to earn this revenue. Okay, so this revenue is to earn purpose only, and this is for the government, right? Now, this protective tariff is by the name itself, like in around the period of 1950s, when we had to protect the infant industries, not in just the 1950s when this MSME popped up. So to in order to protect this micro and small units or enterprises, government do incentivize them with some certain sort of subsidies or the taxes on the foreign companies, so that they get saved, from the ulterior competition. So that is this protective tariff. Now in protective tariff, one is to protect the infant industries, to protect the infant companies, or to protect the domestic producers. Okay, so if we impose a tariff on foreign goods, then automatically domestic producers will be incentivized to produce, right? And that is how supply will increase and the price will also increase. So that is how the compensation will take place. But if not, in order to protect the infant industries, we have first retaliation. This can also come under the retaliation heads, but it is also a sort of protective tariff. So retaliation also is like somebody is retaliating from doing something, right? आप कुछ करने से बच रहे हो, so that is the retaliation. या फिर आप किसी को कुछ रोक रहे हो कुछ करने से, right? So retaliation tariff isn't like we have, now what is happening in Russia or USA case, what is happening, or take the case of USA in China, what is the trade war which is going on? That is the retaliating tariff only. Like if China has imposed tariff on certain imports, which it takes imports from USA, and it has imposed a major amount of tariff on that, then that is a retaliation tariff, right? Okay, not if USA will impose in return Because if USA will impose in return, चाइना ने तो कर दिया जो कर दिया, बट अगर यूएसए अगर उसके बदले में इंपोर्ट, उनकी इंपोर्ट्स पे जो चाइना से हो रही है वहां पे वो टैक्स इंपोर्ट कर देता है, इम्पोज कर देता है, दैट इज द रिटेलिएटिंग टैरिफ, बिकॉज दैट इज इन फुल स्पिरिट ऑफ रिवेंज कि भैया हमें तो बदला लेना है. Okay, so in full spirit of taking the revenge, that is very aggressive. And when we take the form of, when tariff take form of very aggressive aggression, then that is the retaliation. Like अच्छा भैया तुमने टैरिफ लगाया है हमारे गुड पे तो हम भी लगाएंगे, हम थोड़ी पीछे रहेंगे. So that is the retaliating tariff. Okay, so other part is now protection. You got this retaliating tariff, like आप बदले में जब इम्पोज करते हो, आपका फर्स्ट एम है बदला नहीं ना, सेकेंड एम है कि हाँ फिर अगर उन्होंने आपका गुड्स महंगा किया अपनी कंट्री में तो आप भी उनका गुड्स महंगा करोगे अपनी कंट्री में, तो वो कॉम्पनसेटिंग. तो कॉम्पनसेटिंग इज द सेकेंड मोटिव. फर्स्ट मोटिव इज टू टेक द रिवेंज. नाउ सेकेंड इज countervailing, and we have like we might have heard of counter duties. Okay, so counter duty जैसे किसी को काउंटर करना है, right? So countervailing tariff is to protect from dumping. Okay, so we have seen now once again we'll take the instance of China only. Like we have the Chinese products, right? So China ki products, they are intentionally very cheap. Intentionally, by what I mean by intentionally, like the China provide immense level of subsidies to the producers of China, to the domestic producers in their country. So when they will provide them immense level of subsidies in their country, so what it is doing, it is impacting on the other country, because उनके वहां पे अगर वो आप इतना ज्यादा level of subsidies that they are providing, that is making that good in return very cheaper, right? तो जब cheaper बन जाएगा क्योंकि आपने बहुत सारी subsidies देकर बनवाया, cheaper बन गया, then the price of that particular good tends to come down. Okay, when it tends to come down, you are in a position to sell it to the other country in the very less price. Okay, so now what you are doing, आप दूसरे देश को आदत दिला रहे हो, you are making the other countries people habitual of your goods, because you have the cheaper goods and their country is not able to produce that cheap good. Like if अगर हम कह दें कि मेक इन इंडिया एकदम fully लगा दो, impose कर दो, we are not in a position to have that in एकदम spontaneously. We cannot have that. We have to create the base. क्योंकि अगर आज आप जैसे कि 10 से 12 हजार का मोबाइल, it is not possible for India to produce that. So we are, dependent on Japan, Korea, or China, and moreover dependent on China, because for many products, not just the mobile phone, many other products are also there, like manja hi le lo aap, toys hai, toys industry is just brimming up in India, but we have to depend upon that. So unhone kya kiya hai, they have made their goods cheaper by providing subsidies to their producers. So they have reduced the price there in order to sell to the other countries. That particular good could be of worst quality, right? Could be of worst quality, and it is. In many, in a less time, the product gets, either broken or damaged or destroyed anyhow. But it is not worth that quality. But हमें तो आदत लग चुकी है. So what we'll do? उन्होंने क्या कर दिया है, अब दूसरे देश के लोगों को अपनी आदत लगा. अब क्या कर रहे हैं, इंडिया में अगर आ रहा है तो इंडिया के लोग चाइना के ही गुड्स को डिमांड कर रहे हैं, डोमेस्टिक गुड्स को डिमांड ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, राइट? दे आर नॉट एट ऑल डिमांडिंग द डोमेस्टिक गुड्स प्रोड्यूस्ड इन देयर ओन कंट्री by their domestic producers. So what is happening now? Their domestic producers are facing immense level of problems. Okay, certain type of problems, like they are not in a position to produce, they are experiencing the expensive production in their costly production in their companies. So why they will produce? So now what China has made India, China is trying to make the Indian beggar. Like there's a big quote, beggar thy neighbor. आप अपने पड़ोसी को भिखारी बना दो. कैसे? उन्हें सस्ता सस्ता माल बेच दो. Sell them the cheapest possible goods and make them the neighbor, because उन्हें तो आदत लग जाएगी सस्ता खरीदने की. आप उनके डोमेस्टिक प्रोड्यूसर से हक ही छीन रहे हो. They will be not incentivized to produce. राइट अब उनको लगेगा कि यार इससे सस्ता मिल रहा है तो खरीदने दो ना, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, राइट। सो अगर उन गुड्स पे उस डंपिंग पर इंडिया काउंटर करती है, काउंटर किस तरीके से, एक टैरिफ इंपोज करती है उस इंपोर्ट्स पे, उस पर्टिकुलर गुड के इंपोर्ट्स पे, दैट इज काउंटर वेलिंग टैरिफ। Okay, so we have covered this tariff of revenue tariff, okay, and under the protective tariff, protective tariff is the other one itself a tariff, and under its head there is retaliation tariff and this countervailing tariff. Okay, so we have covered these tariffs, right? Okay.